Ladies and gentlemen.
That's from Lori Anderson.
Yep. Dabu7 is joining me right now. He's joining me via Skype, okay? And it won't be the last time you'll hear from him, as we are now in full-blown Jade Hell mode. And we have somebody that knows how to sift through this information. Dabu joins me right now. Dabu, you there?
Doing?
I'm doing great. So listen, let's do this. Let's get started. Let's get right to work before we start digging into this stuff. There's so much information flowing. Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm going to throw it to you right now. There's so much information flowing through you. How do we make sense of it? Right now, we have a machine set up and through these various portals, a machine where information is flowing through we the people. And it's a beautiful thing, is it not?
You mentioned South Carolina, and a story probably just came out is in South Carolina. There was just a shooting, 8 people shot at a church.
Just now?
So that just happened. Just came across the authorities in Charleston, South Carolina, responding to a shooting at a church. It is on Calhoun Street. They're saying multiple people are dead. The shooter is not in custody. At least 8 people shot. So that just went down there in South Carolina. As soon as he said it, my eyes were on the word South Carolina, and I said, what? And I pulled it up, and that's what it is.
Wow. Now, listen. We also need to balance everything out. Our listeners that are going to be joining us for this segment, they're going to learn a lot about these ADVON vehicles. This is going to be a special report. I brought Dabu on because he stumbled into something, and we're going to share this information with you guys. But Dabu, do me a favor, answer Bob back as to what you're seeing that's very different, okay, that we should not grow accustomed to seeing all this military equipment coast to coast floating around. This is not a normal thing, is it, Dabu?
Well, you have your equipment, you have the things that you're going to see, people that live near bases that are going to see, some of the same stuff on a routine basis. Some people are used to seeing certain things, but what grabs my attention is beyond that. It's coming from all across the country. I could name every state from Indiana, West Virginia, Carolinas, Kentucky, on and on. And it's coming from people that haven't seen this before, that are not used to seeing it, not used to seeing these choppers, military choppers in the skies above their houses. That's what's grabbing my attention, because they're coming to me en masse, and I'm really seeing that it's coming from all over the place.
Yeah. Now, that's my next point. One thing that's different than any other campaign you've been involved as far as, communicating newsworthy information is that we now have, this is kind of like crowdsourced information. People are grabbing phones. They're taking pictures of rail cars going by. They're giving you the data you need in order to make sense of what's going on, which direction equipment's going. There are a lot of people giving you a lot of information right now.
Yeah. I've got a lot of photos I haven't even been able to share. It comes down to having the time to be able to get all the stuff together, but I try to take the best footage and put it out kind of on a weekly basis of what I'm getting, and just let people see what's going on all around. But I've got a stockpile of photos that I really need to just go through with the dates and to start. What needs to be done is we need to just grab a map, and we need to take every single one of these drills, every single one of these sightings, and we need to pin it on a map.
Yeah, that's
really,
absolutely
I think
right.
if we start pinning all this stuff on a map and we can just show everybody what's going on large scale, I think that will speak volumes. Seeing is believing. They can see it. It is literally clear across the country.
Yep. But for right now, let's do this. Let's give, because I've been encouraging since the start of the show, encouraging people that don't normally grab their phone and start recording stuff. But if you notice an anomaly like heavy equipment, MRAPs, military convoys, you have to know how to grab your phone. You don't even need commentary. Just get pictures of it. Tell everyone the best way to get their images to you, their videos and pictures. What are you recommending to your subscribers?
I usually tell people just send it to dabu7@yahoo.com. Easiest.
That's the easiest way to get in touch with you.
Easiest email way to send it to me. And if they have bigger files, they can always email me, and then we'll go from there. Try Dropbox or something from there. But usually the email work.
All right. Also use this as an opportunity to tell people, for instance, we're getting pictures or videos, people driving down the road and they're saying, I'm in Colorado. They don't give out the exact location. Do you want to tell people the best way to serve up the information to you via email?
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, I have got to say I have probably got, I'd say 80-90% of the stuff I have that I haven't put out yet is like that. It's a lot of pictures sent in with no real detail, but maybe good photos, good stuff, good shots of equipment. I have even some footage, a lot of footage that are like 5-6 seconds long. And I have a lot of those that are just quick convoys here and there, choppers in the skies, and it's just as quick as somebody could get their hands on the phone, you know, and get it.
Right.
But it's something, and it's proof, and whether it's 5-6 seconds or not, it's proof. And seeing all that coming through is just what's got my attention. Like, wow. And I got vets, you know, hollering at me, and, you know, look, this is something that is alarming, period. And, you know, to approach it, to me, you have to approach it as calmly as possible. I mean, this isn't, it's easy for them to say this is conspiracy. It's easy for them to say that this is a bunch of crap. But at the end of the day, more and more people are looking over their shoulder and saying, hold on.
Right.
Something's going on.
Yep.
And it is. Something is going on. And that's, as far as I can tell, this massive military buildup is just like swelling up around us, like right in front of us. Let me set
the stage here. We're going to get right into this. I'm going to use an example, and then you can add commentary on top of, you know, what goes on in the comment threads and how everyone needs to recognize, especially if you're brand new to this, you're on YouTube and you're taking a look at it, and you just came off of watching Fox News one moment, you're not getting your news, all of a sudden you're on the internet trying to find out about Jade Helm, and you see this craziness going on in the threads per se. Well, I'm going to tell you something right now. That is actually intentional, okay? Because they don't have the ability to create confusion and anger and hatred and all of the stuff that they do in the threads. They don't have the opportunity to do that when you're sitting in front of your TV. But when you're in a YouTube thread, they have the ability to go in there and create multiple personalities and create so much confusion that you'll look away and say, oh, I don't even want to look at that stuff. Set that aside. Let's look at this right now. Dabu, I contacted you because I just reminded you within about 30 milliseconds. I said, hey, man, did you see those blue vehicles? And I think I reminded you, and you said, oh, I remember now. Those were the same blue vehicles that we saw at 2 incidents that I know of right now. That was the Boston Marathon bombing, as well as the Waco fertilizer plant explosion. Now, let me play this for our listening audience.
More interesting photos.
Everyone listen to
taken in
this.
Colorado, this time catching military semis or flatbeds hauling what looks to be CIA vehicles. These look to be the blacked out command vehicles that they use. As you can see right here, and you can see right here, it's the exact kind of truck that
That's right. Now within minutes after you posted that and I called you, you knew exactly what they were right away. I actually referred to them because back then we actually pulled, thankfully, we pulled the documentation off of military websites. It's all been scrubbed. And we're going to go into this. But add some commentary to this on top of what you already know about these vehicles. You saw these vehicles at the Boston Marathon bombing, didn't you?
Yeah, I couldn't find a way to share that link because it was the PDF form.
Right.
I couldn't find a way to get it into the description, like you know what I'm saying?
We're gonna do that. I'll actually give you a link. It'll be in the description here, and I'll give you a link to it. I'll have it posted at the end of this episode. Yep. But what I'm going to do is I'm also going to put it on the screen here right now. I actually have it on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. All right. These blue vehicles that Dabu 7 was sent, it was a parking lot in Colorado. It was sent to him by one of his subscribers. I think it came off of the Jade Helm update page. Those blue vehicles, I'm going to tell you something right now, ladies and gentlemen. They're flat out lying to us, telling us that they're preparing for battle in a foreign land and practicing it here in the United States of America. Well, guess what? We just caught them in a lie, because these vehicles are not for Afghanistan. It's for here in the United States of America. We'll tell you why right after
Many
this.
people
Stay right there.
experience the benefits of drinking all-natural Life Change tea. The unique blend of 8 herbs helps detoxify your body so you can live a healthier life. Numerous testimonies have been given about the benefits of drinking Life Change tea. So are you drinking Life Change tea? Interested? Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Many are so impressed with our product, they order a year's supply. And why not? When they do, they receive 2 months free. That's a $70 savings. The body is meant itself. Sometimes a body just needs a little help. Get the tea at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Or call us at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. This is not an ordinary green tea and is not available in stores. This tea helps with digestive problems, acid reflux, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and as talk show host Jerry Doyle says, it'll make you as regular as a baby bird. Enjoy your life. Get Life Change tea at getthetea.com.
Hi, this is Danny with the Pete Santilli Show, and for almost 1,000 episodes, I've been responsible for making sure that Pete does everything he can to piss off the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, and the CIA. In the coming days, we're going to be picking it up a notch, and there's no doubt that every 3-letter agency will be having nervous breakdowns trying to figure out how to silence us. Our message is simple. It's time to get every single American who cares about what's happening in this country in the streets to shut the system down. We're not willing to sit around and wait for the feds to come get us. We're going to take it to them, but we need your help. Obviously, corporate America won't be cutting us a check so we can shut down their businesses, but we need the support of our listeners. Please go to thepetesantillishow.com/donate and help support our field reporting. You may not be able to join us in the streets, but this is the best way you can help. Go to thepetesantillishow.com and give now, because giving feels free.
Aloha, this is Tahiti Joe, the Joe's Hot Sauces and the Maui Pepper Company.
The saga of Tahiti Joe's Hot Sauces is a very tasty story. Tahiti Joe went exploring the South Seas for the spices and was easily sidetracked, but don't tell his lady.
Then, after a few months, Tahiti Joe blended a beautiful array of spices with clam juice and honey.
It had a sweet tropical flavor, and with the heat of the peppers, it reminded him of the islands.
Tahiti Joe had to name the new sauce, and Tahiti Joe's Hot Sauces was born. Try it as a chicken wing sauce.
Barbecue, marinade,
or use it to create a delicious Polynesian Mary.
So, visit www.tahitijoeshotsauces.com today to satisfy your cravings for
tropical taste sensation.
www.tahitijoeshotsauces.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you why this is important, and I'll cut right to the chase in a Pete Santilli kind of way, all right? Let me cut right to the chase in a Pete Santilli kind of way. Ladies and gentlemen, anytime you see the blue vehicles, okay, and within literally minutes, if not seconds, of Dabu7 posting this to his channel and finding this thing, we identified exactly what those vehicles were. We had to remind ourselves because back in 2013, all right, there was what we know to be, there's no doubt about it, I actually have forensic proof that the FBI refused to take a look at, and that was the Boston Marathon bombing was a false flag. No doubt about it. Well, guess what? Set that aside. Let's not dispute that. Let's look at something else that was involved prior to the false flag, and that was those vehicles that you saw on those trailers. Those vehicles are to be used here in the United States of America. They're used for, let's say, NBC, nuclear, biological, and chemical analysis and communications on the ground here in the United States of America. Those vehicles were spotted at the Boston Marathon bombing. That was a false flag. Whenever you see those vehicles floating around in the United States of America, you better be plugging your ears and getting ready for the potential false flag. That's why it's important to share this information. Right, Dabu?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We saw it in Boston. You saw these vehicles. Remember, we tore that thing apart back in, I mean, we didn't even know each other back then, but I'm sure you were doing the same exact thing back then, weren't you?
Yeah, it's funny. You say blue vehicles. I keep looking at them. I'm like colorblind and like dark blue, so they look black to me.
Yeah, they're actually navy blue vehicles, believe it or not. Yep.
Straight up.
Dark navy blue vehicles. Here's the next time we saw it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to prove it to you that these vehicles, when you see them, a false flag follows shortly thereafter. They were at the Boston Marathon bombing. Kabooyah. There was a false flag event right within fertilizer plant in Waco. Okay. There was somebody named Matthew Short. Show Me Baby is his website. We covered it. We had it on the show way back when. It was actually April 2013. I put 14 there. But the government vehicles, the same exact vehicles were spotted right before the Waco fertilizer plant explosion. Period. Okay.
Yeah, if he wouldn't have got that footage and put the word out, then we would have never had that connection.
That's right. And what we saw shortly thereafter were two smoke clouds, one at the Boston Marathon and also one at the Waco fertilizer plant. So when you see vehicles like this anywhere in your vicinity in any city in America, you better be getting that information out ASAP. Wherever that's where you can pretty much expect an event shortly thereafter, because that's what those vehicles are used for. Now, what are they? Let's go to this. They're called ADVON vehicles, ladies and gentlemen. ADVON vehicles. Now, how do I know this? Because when we saw the vehicles, Dabu, I think you reported on it back then. Did you report on it back during the Boston Marathon bombing that those vehicles were operated by Kraft? I don't know if you did.
I've reported on these in a couple different vehicles, a couple different times.
Okay.
But you've got, like you're showing right there, that's the ADVON, listed ADVON, advanced echelon vehicle.
Right. That's
and then
exactly
you have
right.
the UCSs, which are the box type trucks that are unified command suites. Right
there you go. That's right.
But the other ones that look like those ALSs, which are analytical laboratory systems on wheels.
There you go. That's right. Now, each of these, if you don't mind me pointing out, I'm going to put it up on the screen because you've already taken a look at the document I'm going to put on the screen as well. Each of these has a specific role. If you see a boxy one, and you're exactly right. I'm calling them overall, ADVON vehicles. Okay.
Right.
The overall, we, the people, are going to call them ADVON vehicles, but you're absolutely right. One is, let's say the SUV type is out milling around. Okay. And it sends
those are the frontline ones.
Those are the frontline ones
that get there first.
That's right. That's exactly right. Now, we have the procedural manual, believe it or not. We actually stripped it, and I don't even, I couldn't care less if the Army was too stupid to give me access to the thing when I pulled it down. Shame on them, okay? I have a top secret security clearance anyway, and I'm going to bust your cover, so F you. The bottom line is we stripped this thing. I have multiple copies. They're stored everywhere, but here's what the document is called. You may or may not be able to find it still, okay? And it's a document that's titled as follows. Here it is. Let me go to the top here so you guys can find it. It's Weapons of Mass Destruction Civil Support Team Operations Document, FM 3-11.22. You should not be able to find the thing if you go search for it on the internet because they scrubbed it. Why? Because we busted their cover for the Boston Marathon bombing because that was the false flag. We busted their cover for Waco because it was a false flag. And right now, whatever you're hearing, I'm telling you, get ready for some sort of a false flag. Something big is going to happen, Dabu. Is there any doubt in your mind? Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. Something big is going to happen. Is there any doubt in your mind?
And I'm looking at everything that's building up, and yeah, I mean, definitely something's coming. My thing is like, where? I want to be able to get a bead on exactly the spot
right
in the territory here. That way we can finally maybe pick off one of these false flags literally before it even goes into motion.
That's right. When they put out an
if we spread enough word and talk about it, we can hopefully stop something like that.
That's exactly right. When you spot an ALS or a UCS or an ADVON vehicle, okay, take a look at how they spread these things out and what they use them for. There are different types of trucks. We will actually provide a link to this document. They're not going to be able to strip this thing because I'll have multiple ways. Dabu 7 will have it posted as well. He'll have a way to get it.
Like you said, they can test for radiological. They can test for nuclear. They can test for all that in the lab.
That's right.
They can send these little ADVON trucks out onto the forefront, just like you've seen them in the streets right down on the front lines in Boston. But hidden in the shadows back a couple streets away will be the bigger trucks, the main communications.
Right.
And you see that tactic. We saw that in Baltimore as well. Is back off the street, off that main drag, they wanted to build up all these different trucks with gadgets and things of that nature.
Oh, that's right. And we've seen overhead surveillance technology. They've used prop airplanes that the FBI's used for surveillance. So you need to have total situational awareness. Take a look at what's flying up in the skies. Take a look at what's on the ground. Do not overlook a navy blue vehicle that looks like a nondescript type of like this one, the ADVON vehicle that's built. It's boxy. Where is it? I have a picture of it somewhere here. So this one right here. See that one? That one right there, the ALS vehicle. They can use that as, and I'm calling it, sniffers. They have sniffers for nuclear, biological, and chemical.
Right. Show them the inside of it.
Yeah, show them the inside.
Scroll down and show them the inside real quick.
Snoop around. It'll have government plates on it. Ask them what they're doing there. And of course, Dabu, let me ask you something. If you walked up to a vehicle and you're talking to a guy, maybe he's working for Kraft or he's working for the government, he's in civilian clothes, what are you going to be talking to that guy about? You're going to be talking to him, ask him if he's going to be constitutional, if he's going to be on our side at that point. Are you going to be talking to somebody in those regards, or are you going to be digging for information? What would you do?
Man, if I saw some vehicles like this, first off, I would obviously be getting video footage the best I could from all angles. And yeah, I'd want to talk to the guys and see their response. But, I know that just from talking to soldiers out in the streets that, every person's different. Like when we were in Baltimore, we talked to them soldiers. One soldier was acting like he didn't know what we were talking about. The other one agreed, was like, look, right. I'm going to follow my heart.
That's right.
And things of that nature. But it comes down to the individual. But, guys like this in these vehicles, I've never came across them personally. I've seen the vehicles, but never crossed the guys driving them.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as, I don't know how the encounter would go if you tried to approach them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because we'd be, all right, what you doing around here? What are you guys doing? You guys got something planned? You guys training? You got a drill?
Right. Yeah. And what I would also, and I want to encourage our listeners, all of our listeners and viewers on YouTube, on Dabu7's channel, I want to encourage everybody to also inform them of what you've been educated about. And that is, every time we see these vehicles employed, something really bad happens thereafter. And exchange contact information and say, you know what, if something really bad does happen and it's coincidental, because you remember, Dabu, researching 9/11, that FEMA was deployed in New York City coincidentally, weren't they? And you think they were all kind of shocked when those towers went down?
I'm looking at everything.
Mm-hmm.
The recent sightings of all the military buildup. Then you're looking at the UN vehicles, and you look at the FEMA vehicles we just spotted in Texas, the command things with the DHS vehicles. They're sitting down there in an area where the fencing is turned in, not away, right next to the railroad tracks. That's very curious. And all you got to do is follow those train tracks northwest, and you're right into Colorado, right where they're running the rest of these drills.
Dude, what is happening in Colorado?
That's right where we're seeing these things sit is Colorado. So to me, I'm looking at between Texas and Colorado. Between that area, I'd be keeping an open eye on something popping off.
Yep. What's happening in Colorado? Is the majority of information coming out of Colorado right now, or is it Colorado and Texas? I know you're seeing stuff from all over the place. I find it funny
that Colorado just all of a sudden acts like they're going to back out of JADEHELM because the public was concerned about the military involvement. Yet they turn around and boom, have a drill 3 times bigger than JADEHELM when it comes to troops. And they had that whole convoy thing right out in the open. It just didn't make any sense. It was like, they've got something big going on in Colorado, and this is beyond Jade Helm, in my opinion. Let's
talk about this. You mentioned in one of your videos, and this is something that I need to become better educated on. I've been so focused on Jade Helm and the regular, production of the show that I haven't focused on. I think it's the RSOF or RSOF. I think it's
RSOF.
Talk about that, because it's not a lot of people are.
What it is it's called RSOF, and it's an operational concept that they have to the year 2022. This is their plan. Now, this was implemented, written up, signed off by Commander Cleveland himself. And it shows basically they're pulling on the same strings as Jade Helm. They talk about wanting to deal with mastering the human domain, specifically use that language. But then they go further and say they want to focus on urban tactics. They want to focus on urban operations and what they call EUV, or extremist ultra-violent threats, and being able to deal with those types of things, psychological operations, all those things. And he explains that in that, what I call OPCON, Operational Concept 2022. And so I hashtag everything with it, OPCON 2022, and that's what it is. It's pertaining to that. I did a video, put the documents out on it, and showed, this is their plan out to the year 2022, and it dwarfs Jade Helm, because this is a plan they have in place for years to come, which focuses on us in our urban areas, and there's no excuses about it. This isn't training for overseas anything. It's laid out specifically saying that it's dealing with here.
Yes.
So, and I've said it time and time again and put it out there. And I found it funny how, like, it didn't go anywhere. Like, people were avoiding it, or the videos I would put out were getting bogged down or throttled or something. That's important.
Yeah, no, it is.
It shows the scale of this.
You know what? You caused me to, and I'm not afraid to say it, when you said, hey, not a lot of alternative media are covering, this aspect of it. It's a long-term program. They're going to do these exercises over and over again, and not a lot of alternative media are covering it. I'm going to tell you something. I fell into a trap to where I don't even know if we're going to make it through the weekend, the way things are hitting. So I've been focusing on the short-term stuff with Jade Helm. But you're absolutely right. This is a long-term plan that they're putting together, and we need to get our act together.
It's real easy to have, when you're focused in on some of these things, especially when you're the one dealing with the hot subjects, and it's on you to get it out to the people. You can sometimes get tunnel vision on that one subject. I mean, you cannot keep up with everything going on. It's just, no one can. It'll leave your head spinning.
No, the only way I can is to tune into the Dabu 777 channel. I swear to you, dude. I'm telling you. That's how we ran into each other.
I try to keep my eyes and ears open constantly. And then whatever I see that's interesting, I try to relay to the people and do it to the best of my ability.
And we have to share. We have to share this information. We have to share it from the field, because there's no way you can do this stuff without all of the videos and contacts that you're making, through your subscribers and through your email. Right? We have to share this info.
We're in this together, man. I say it all the time. We're in this together. Every person, from every language, from every religion, every race. I mean, we are literally in this together, fighting an opposition that is working to divide us on every level. And they're billionaires. We've proven it.
Yeah.
That's our enemy. And, we got to drop the pettiness and see the bigger picture here.
We do. And also, as we're learning our way through this, because guess what, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break here and come back with your telephone calls for the remaining balance of the show here. We got callers on the line, Dabu. But the bottom line is, ladies and gentlemen, we have to learn our way through this. How we share information, how we learn our way through this, how we decipher, what the significance is of an ADVON truck in your neighborhood. I'm going to tell you something right now. It should be very clear to you, okay, during this segment alone, if you see one of these navy blue trucks, okay, that I'm putting on the screen right now. If you see one of those, just remember that mushroom-shaped clouds always follow shortly thereafter. You better be on alert. We'll be right back.
The Pete Santilli Show has been growing strong since 2011. That's almost 4 years of bringing you the kind of information you will never find on AM/FM radio. Pete Santilli and his crew have brought stories like Clive Bundy to the national spotlight, the border crisis in McAllen, Texas, and has bravely confronted corrupt legislators who would imprison pastors like Reverend Edward Pinckney and Ken Hovind. Recently, the Pete Santilli Show traveled to Baltimore, where he stood side by side with the people against the tyrannical police state, just like he did at Bundy Ranch. For 4 years, the show has been a voice for the oppressed and targeted in this country, and now we have our sights set on getting long overdue justice for the survivors of the USS Liberty. Donations to the Pete Santilli Show not only guarantee we remain on the air without being censored, but it also gives us the power to go when and where we are called. There is so much left to do. Go to thepetesantillishow.com/donate because giving feels great.
Pressure. We usually associate it with stress and negativity, but sometimes a bit of pressure can be healing. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, and I'll be back to tell you how conditions like nausea can be cured using the traditional Chinese therapy known as acupressure. Acupressure is an ancient practice that uses finger or hand pressure to cure everything from headaches to constipation. The pressure is applied to points known as meridians that are believed to control the flow of energy in the human body. Acupressure offers a simple cure for nausea you might try the next time you get a queasy stomach or a case of motion sickness. Simply apply moderate pressure to the point known as P6. You'll find it on the inside of your wrist, about 2 fingers width down from your palm. Placing pressure on the P6 point works on the same principle as those pricey anti-nausea wristbands, but this relief is free and always on hand. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht for StartPage.com, the world's most private search engine.
Change Tea, major talk show hosts, celebrities, and many others have been talking about the benefits of Life Change Tea. Not a fad, but a choice to enhance your health with an all-natural, non-decaffeinated, non-sugar energy drink that you make at home. For about $1 a day, you can benefit your health in a way you've never dreamed of. That's why the buzz. Join those who have made the choice for better health. Taste the drink that is changing lives. Read the testimonies at getthetea.com. Want to order? Need to order? Log on to getthetea.com. Appropriate name, I might add. That's getthetea.com. Or call 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. Say no to sickness and disease. Get your power of health back, but you need to order. GetTheTea.com. Helps with cholesterol, liver disease, Crohn's disease, digestive problems, and much more. That's GetTheTea.com.
Okay, I put the telephone number up on the screen. And this is another thing that I'll say is that if you're in our chat room, all right, one of the PSYOP techniques, okay, to grab people and throw them into a little honeypot is to come into our chat room and to sway your mind to somebody else's website. It's one of two things. It's either highly unethical to do that, okay, because we actually pay a lot of money, we have over the years, to build a show and a listenership at our expense, and it's unethical for somebody to come in. It's actually theft for them to come in and say, hey, come to my website. Pete Santilli is a shill or whatever it is. I don't even know what they're saying. I'm just hearing that people are doing that. It's either unethical, but here's my main point. They are literally trying to steer your brain away from this vital information that you need to know. And it's very, very bad that you get honeypotted. So you need to be very conscious of that. Anyone, especially if they're an anonymous person or they want to sway you away, it's unethical or it's just flat out an attempt to steer you into a honeypot to change your hearts and minds. Now, Dabu, I'm going to go to the telephone lines. The telephone number is 605-562-3140. And the code to get in is 407-265. And we'll go to as many calls as we can, Dabu, with your permission. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. We got in the 760 area code. I want you to direct your call to Dabu 7. Do you have any questions or comments?
Hey, Pete. Hey, Dabu. It's Pierre.
What's up, Pierre? Take us off speakerphone if you would.
Oh, I'm not on speakerphone, bro. I got my earpiece on.
Oh, you do? Okay. Can you take us off earpiece? Because it sounds like you're talking to us in a wind tunnel.
Well, I'm kind of am on a wind tunnel, you could say.
Oh. Okay, go ahead. I think we can get by. Go ahead.
I got to pull off the road on this.
No, go ahead.
Guys, where I'm at right now, the only thing I've seen about any kind of military movement up here was from the old George Air Force Base, which is Southern California Logistics Base near Fort Irwin and MCLB Barstow.
Yes, sir.
That's about it. I haven't seen much of anything else up here. And as far as I'm concerned, that's kind of put me on edge because there's so much activity going around all around the country and, here in California. But where I'm at, where I'm geographically located at, I expect to see more, but I'm not seeing anything at all.
Okay.
That in of itself really
now,
worries.
being that I was out there in that same area for over 20 years, have you seen equipment coming out of Yermo being put on rail cars? Have you been seeing that?
Negative.
Okay.
The way the trains are running where I'm at, that's that's the freight trains that run like, say, Southwest going through California and cutting through Arizona. I have yet to see anything in terms of material there. I haven't even reconned that area yet, and I want to.
Okay.
It's just I haven't seen much of anything. I've been following. Obviously, I follow both you guys. I look at what you guys have to say and stuff. And Dablo and I have only communicated, I think, once, and that was just through an email correspondence. So I love your work, brother. I really, really do.
Appreciate it, man.
I'm, guys, just from my perspective. You know this, Pete, because we're Marines. It's coming. It's coming.
Oh,
and
no doubt about it.
Where you and Dabu are coming about on the issue of we need to handle this peacefully. But here's the bigger question. What do you do when they don't want you to handle it peacefully?
Yeah.
What do you do when they keep lighting that fire down on that same road that they know that keeps dividing people, which unfortunately is the race card? What do you do? And then at the same time, Pete, you say these people need to come out of office. They need to be removed. But what if they don't want to go peacefully? This only leads to a conclusion as far as I'm concerned.
Power in numbers, man. That's where I said it began. That's where we got to get it. If it's going to happen peaceful, we got to have the numbers. We got to be able to surround them with numbers. And that's the only way they're going to walk out peaceful is when we got them surrounded with 1 million people.
That's what I'm talking about.
We're going to have to go to Plan B.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And you know what? Actually, Plan B will come through that if they're that stupid to resist the demands of tens of thousands or even millions of people on the street, if they're that stupid at that point, then you know what, Pierre, I'm going to speak to, you and I, we're Marines. We stand and fight, brother, right? It's on like a mofo.
Yes, we do.
Yep, we sure do. We're going to protect the peaceful protesters, and we're going to freaking put down freaking John McCain, put his face into the pavement. Yeah.
He's one of the biggest traitors out there.
Yep.
The thing that people need to understand is this, and I had to really be careful on how I'm going to say this, but I mean, it's the Pete Santilli show, so
you're going
to get it out. So here's the deal. If you're going to fight this thing, and people who are listening to my voice right now, if we're going to fight this thing where peace fails, you know where that's going to go. Don't be fools and thinking you could take this machine on head on. It isn't going to work because they got the tech, they got the numbers. So this is going to have to be guerrilla war. You know that. That is where this thing is going.
Yep.
And they got to know how serious we are.
Yep.
That's why I prefer peace. But they just keep pushing it. They keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it to this point to where we're going to actually have a violent altercation. We're going to have a mix-up. And I just... You guys have the most noblest of endeavors to want to do this peacefully, and I'm totally down with that. But my instinct's saying the fight's coming. We just got to be ready for it. We got to be ready for it smartly. What's the word I'm looking for? We got to have the discernment to know when that balloon's going to go up, and we need to have this edge. Because there's one thing I've learned, what you two are doing that's freaking them out. It's waking up people. It's not waking up a lot of people, but the people who are waking up, the people who are using your cell phones, who are getting their cameras, perhaps even get a drone like Dabu. I'd love to have one too myself. All this stuff is causing them to do things more. And the more they ramp their stuff up, the more they slip. The more they slip, the more we win. If we can continue to do that,
That's great.
I think that's going to be the key to changing this whole scenario and preventing rounds from going downrange.
That's great. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish off, Pierre. Yeah, I hit the button accidentally. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead, Pierre. Finish.
On this, I'm going to still stick to my guns on this and say that as of at least right now, I can see the rounds going downrange.
Yes, sir.
That's just my opinion.
All right.
One person's opinion.
Let me.
Other than that, you guys, thank you very much.
Thank you. And Dabu, you know what? Can I say something? You know, I'm going to say this as a, by the way, I mean, I'm not afraid to get out and back up what I'm about to say either. As a United States Marine, I know there's a lot of veterans I've spoken to that are ready to get this on. But guess what, dude? You know, if we get enough people that are awake and we get enough people out in the streets peacefully protesting as well, I think our military will decide at that point. Our law enforcement will decide at that point what side they need to be on. Do you have hope that they're gonna join the right side? What do you think, Dabu?
Like I said earlier, we saw them troops down there in Baltimore, and it was a perfect example to me.
Mm-hmm.
Two standing right in front of you. In the end, one I felt would have put a bullet in my head. The other wouldn't have.
Yeah.
It comes down to the hearts of men. And to me, I say we get these peaceful people out there. And that was my problem with Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
When, we're out there on the front lines, standing with the real troopers, getting pepper sprayed and assaulted by the police for, freely standing in the streets at 10:01 p.m. I felt like if the real leaders down there, if there would have been some real organization, could have had all those people there, could have peacefully made a stand in the street, that would have made a difference. You see what I'm saying? But if not, you would have had all those peaceful people there getting slaughtered right there, and let the whole world see it then.
Yeah.
And then you can see what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. We need to encourage people and you'll know when the time is.
Stand right there on the front line.
Yeah. And we need to encourage people that when you start seeing this activity out in the streets, you see a Baltimore start to sprout up again. I want to encourage everyone, get off of freaking YouTube, get off of Fox News, and join us in the streets. Because that's where you'll understand exactly what's going on, and you'll love what's happening as to the people's will to fight, to stand and fight for their rights. Yep. Let me go to another caller here in the 949 area code. You're live with Dabu7. What's your comment for him? 949 area code. That's you.
795?
Oh, sure. Yes, 795. Go ahead, sir.
Sorry about that. This is Steve out in FEMA Region 9 in the People's Republic of California.
That's California. What are you talking about? It's California. There you go.
There's a lot more people out here awake than you think. And Dabu, we're new to your stuff, and we're watching all that. And Pete, boy, you've really opened my eyes over the last few months on Mr. Jones and several other things. And
awesome.
God bless everybody on the front line. I just wanted to call and congratulate you and the crew on the 1,000 show coming up tomorrow.
Thank you.
I don't know if I'll be able to call in for that, but I did my donation tonight.
Oh,
and,
thank you so much.
We're going to do everything we can. We'll be on 80 meters, 40 meters, telling everybody, and don't underestimate the chatter on 11 meters. That's where all the action is, and there's a lot of people awake. And, that being said, I never served in the military, but, I love God, and I love my wife for 25 years, and I adore my kids, but damn it, I'll stand shoulder to shoulder with any of you and take the next round in their chamber, but I will never submit.
Right.
And
just want
to say God bless you all.
God bless you too,
Thank
man.
you.
Yep. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you so much for your support as well. We have, let's see, we got about 5 more minutes left. I'm going to go all the way through with calls, Dabu, if that's okay. All right.
Fine.
All right, man. We got a lot of callers on the line. John, in the 817 area code, what's your comment for Dabu7?
Hey, this is Greg over at FEMA Region 6. What's going on, y'all?
Hey, what's up, dude?
Hey, so, wanted to say, loved the show last night. The guy that you had on was really powerful, man. Great stuff. Dabu7, love your stuff, dude. Keep
Thank
going, man. Started noticing, last night, y'all, that gentleman y'all had, he started stressing about later in September, that shit started going to hit the fan. Well, I started doing some research about the blood moons. Do y'all know anything about the blood moons?
Dabu, speak to that. I know you follow that.
On that, man. I'm going to be putting out a video here shortly on that last one. It's we're in that time. We're coming up on the final one of that tetrad. Interesting times indeed.
And we can't underestimate the galactic, cosmic, astrological impact of what's going on here. I mean, Dabu, dude, there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it that there's an aura about something that's happening on this planet. And we could call it the awakening, right? But people are coming awake to this stuff. Well, that's a part of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and they don't like it.
Yeah, they don't like it, and I love that. I love that as well. Thanks a lot for calling in, FEMA Region 6. Let's go to the 239 area code. What's your comment for Dabu 7?
Hello?
Hey, that's you, man. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm a staff sergeant here at Buckley Air Force Base in Aurora, Colorado.
Semper Fi, brother. Thank you for your service, and be constitutional.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Basically what I'm calling about is I was stationed here 6 months ago from NAS Pensacola.
Mm-hmm.
And my guide from boot camp, actually, this is all going to tie in with each other, but he's actually at Cheyenne Mountain, which is
NORAD.
It isn't that far. Yes, sir. But there's actually a tunnel under that connects them both. It's about 60 miles long. But the reason why I'm calling you is I'm sorry for my ignorance, but Dabu 7 and you, sir, I'm just not up to date with the conspiracy theorists, but I'm doing this as a favor because I was offered through my family friend something and I owe him, so I am offering you this information, and take it or leave it, and I completely understand if you don't believe me, but we were actually given me and my former guide from a boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
We were both at Paris Island, but we were both given the date around between the second week of October and the second week of November, and we really don't know what it is, but my former guide, he is an admin there, and he is a gunnery sergeant, and he recently told me that they actually have a shipment that's going to be...
Oh, what?
Dude, there's no way.
Wow. Come on, brother.
What?
No!
Bullshit.
Oh, no.
Man.
Did he drop off the line? No, he didn't hang up here. Hold on one second. Oh, my God. I was like, is he messing with us? It's a freaking, you know what? I don't know. We got a lot of calls. Dabu, can you stay with me for a few minutes?
Right now, I'm kind of interested in this call and what's going on with this, because, dude, if what this dude was just saying is real...
Well, hold on a second. He mentioned, hold on a second. Can I straighten it out real quick? He mentioned he's a staff sergeant in the Air Force. No staff sergeant is going to be calling in. And then he mentioned conspiracy theory, tunnels underneath Cheyenne. And then he said he was, he said he came from NAS Pensacola. That's a naval air station. So he's a staff sergeant in the Air Force that came from a naval air station, talked about a tunnel, and he said something about his guide at Paris Island. I call bullshit. I have to do that. Well. I mean, I have to call bullshit because I don't know of very many staff sergeants in the Air Force that would risk their security clearance to call the Pete Santilli show. Okay, that's a problem right there. So listen, can I take a couple more calls here? Is that okay? Is that cool?
Yeah.
Just real quick, you guys, we're going to go right down the line here. 316 area code. Very quickly, quick comment. I'm going to go right down the line here. Quick comment.
Hey, Dabu, just wanted to touch base with you real quick on the whole debt crisis thing that's going on. You know, that's everybody's personal debt in this country.
That's right.
If you owe money to the state or federal government, they are going to come for you for personal bail-ins. Just like Greece, where the banks do bail-ins, well, there's going to be personal bail-ins here.
Yeah.
And they are running. It's not extraction. It's going around. And if you've got a warrant, let's say in, you're in Ohio, but let's say you were in California and you got outstanding parking tickets there.
Yep.
The federal government is going to take that money from you or take you to pay it off.
Good
and
point.
That's this whole system that's coming. It's first the people who do have warrants and all those kinds of things that owe money.
Good.
I just wanted to get your take on that, Dabu.
Good point.
I know that.
Good point. Good point. We're going to move right along. Go ahead. Continue on. Dabu, any comment on that? We'll go to the next call real quick.
That's wild, man. It's just
debt is out of control.
You see where it's going here. It's
the debt. First of all, I'm going to tell everyone you need to figure out how to discharge your debt. Go look up discharging your debt and figure it out. Okay. Debt is, as Greece is putting it, Greece is the land where democracy was born. And right now, Greece is saying that all of their debt is illegal, and they're about to give the big middle finger to the EU, and I love that. So that statement applies to you as an individual as well. Figure out how to discharge your debt. Dabu, I'm just going to go right down the line here real quick, okay? And then we're going to finish up the show. 989 area code. Very quick comment.
Yeah, how you doing?
Quick comment. Say hello to Dabu real quick. Quick comment.
Yeah, how y'all doing? This is Eric Sizemore. I live in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yes, sir.
I was wondering, I was up at a local baseball game here for one of our AA teams, and, they had the police department there with their MRAPs and all that stuff, and they got 50 cal sniper rifles and all that stuff there. When I started complaining about militarization of our local police department, and, a couple of the clowns who were standing around gawking were, started running their mouths, and then my brother-in-law actually asked him, he said, what makes you guys think that you need this type of equipment, and what would be the point of using it? And it come right out of the lieutenant's mouth. He said, just in case we ever have to impose martial law. That's exactly what he said, word for word.
Yeah. So, all right, thank you so much.
With your Jade Helm operation, you got Texas and Utah and Southern California all listed as hostile zones because a lot of people have said because of the patriotism of the people in those states. Well, what about Oklahoma? I mean, this is the only state within the last two elections that the whole state has gone red, during election time. There's more patriots here. I've traveled all over the country working. The only two states I haven't worked in the 48 is Delaware and Montana, but everywhere else.
Hey, Oklahoma City, man, they've done a big one there. They'll do it again if need be, I feel.
Yep, that's right. W7, I'm going to give you the last word on the police state.
I mean,
Yep, go ahead, comment. One final comment here as we close out the show. Comment on the police state, and then give out your YouTube channel to all of our listeners, and then we'll conclude the show. The police state.
You talking to me?
Yeah, man. What's your comment on the police state? What do we say to the police state? The police state that's getting ready to install martial law. What do you say to them?
I see it as just. I see this bigger, like the global system trying to get its tentacles in here and take away all of our freedoms, and that's why I say Illuminati, to kill this Illuminati.
That's right, baby. And guess what? I'm going to do what I normally do in a Pete Santilli kind of way. All right, and I'm going to send a special message out there to those in the police state that want to dress up and act like they're in Fallujah. Okay, and they're wanting to treat people like we're a bunch of terrorists here in the United States of America. Your job in the navy blue and now the olive drab is to protect and to serve. It's not your job to implement martial law. Why don't you go Google martial law and figure out that martial law means it's the military takeover during civil unrest and disorder. It's your job to serve and protect. Keep order. It's your job to direct traffic when the traffic lights go out. It's your job to, help people out when they call you and they dial 911 or whatever. Serve and protect your community. Forget about pretending like you're the United States Marine Corps in your local community. It's also time for you to uphold your oath to defend and support the Constitution of the United States. You need to start thinking about that. Choose what side you're going to be on and choose wisely. That's all I ask you to do. Be constitutional, help people out during this tough time, and maybe you'll survive I hope you survive, and that'll depend on what side you choose. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. That's all we got. W7, thank you very much.
Much love.
For taking this time. Much love to all of you. You guys tune in, share this episode, get the word out, and send us your info.
You observed him smacking